Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to share some of my tips for buying basics. You probably know by now if you've been following me for a while that I adore basics. They are the foundation of my wardrobe, they're one of the key elements of my personal style, and they're just a wardrobe essential in general. So I've got a few things that I kind of look at when I am buying a basic piece, and I just want to preface this by saying that more expensive doesn't always mean better quality. I've purchased basics at both ends of the price spectrum, and I've had some really expensive items be well worth their money, and then I've had other expensive items not be worth it at all, and the same goes for the affordable end of the spectrum. Some of the affordable basics I've purchased just did not stand up to the test of time, whereas others I've been able to wear for years and years. So hopefully these tips will help you. It's also just some of the guidelines that I keep in mind whenever I am buying basics. My first tip is to inspect the seams and stitching. This is always the mark of a good quality piece, and you'll be able to tell just from looking at this whether it's been well constructed or not. Basically, the seams should lie flat and be straight, and all the stitches should be intact. There shouldn't be any loose threads anywhere. The second thing that I look for are natural fibers. This tends to be a general rule with anything that I'm adding to my wardrobe. I just prefer natural fibers for many reasons. One being that it is so much more breathable than their synthetic counterparts, but I also find that they tend to be better quality too. In my experience, I found that my natural fiber items tend to wash and wear a lot better than my synthetic ones, and generally they feel so much more comfortable against your skin as well. My next tip is to go for silhouettes that you feel comfortable in. There are so many of those wardrobe shopping lists out there that kind of state you have certain types of items in your wardrobe. Ultimately, this is all down to your own personal style, which will evolve over time as your taste and preference change. So you might be going through a period where you actually prefer boxier fitting items, things that are, wider through the body and then have a really loose or relaxed fit. And then there might be times where you prefer something that is a bit more snug and a bit more figure hugging. So really just go for things that, one, suit you and suit your body type, and two, that you really enjoy wearing. I think that's really important. And once you find a good basic or a brand that does that basic really well, I think it's a good idea to stock up in the core colors that you tend to wear on rotation, which kind of brings me to my next point, which is not to be afraid of color and print. Now, when you think basics, I think you usually think the, wardrobe neutrals, white, black, gray. However, I do think that there are some prints and some other colors that are really great ones to mix in there. So when it comes to prints, I've got a couple here that I thought I would just show you guys. Hang on, here's something I prepared earlier. So the first print that I think is a really classic one that's never going to date, is a good stripe. So I always find that a stripy item is something that I will have for years. I've got a striped top from T by Alexander Wang that I am planning on wearing till it is threadbare. I've had it for about 5 years now, and I still absolutely adore it, and it doesn't feel like it is dated. So that's one kind of pattern that I think is a great one to have. The second one that I thought I would mention is a polka dot. You guys know how much I love a polka dot piece. This piece is probably a little bit more of a trendier item just because of these sleeves, but it's the print that I think is classic. Polka dots are again one that doesn't really date. I've been wearing polka dot prints for years and years now. It's one that I'm always really drawn to. It's actually a big part of my own personal style, but I find that it's another safe bet. Other prints that I think are great ones to opt for are spring florals. They always come around again every single year. So if you're going for a spring basic, if you get it in a floral design, something that is, I would say, more of a smaller micro floral print, you can bet your boots you'll probably be wanting to wear it again the next year. It will be something you can just continue to reach for year on year. I also think a good leopard print is another safe bet to have in your closet, as well as a good check or houndstooth. When it comes to the color end of the spectrum, well, I do think white, black and grey are sort of the first options that you should go for. If you enjoy color, there's no reason why you shouldn't get your basics in more colorful options as well. I tend to go for muted ones, things that are a little bit less bold. I do have this little cami here, which is from Maybelline, that's in sort of a rich tan, coconutty, caramel color, which to me, this is an absolute basic. It's the sort of thing that I know will work really well with the rest of my wardrobe, and I don't feel like I'm wearing something very bold when I have that on. My next tip is to look for interesting details. So just say you're looking for a simple tee, something maybe with a roll up could be an interesting detail, or if you're opting for a white shirt, maybe a pocket or pockets on the bust is a nice little detail. Things like that I think can really elevate a basic and make it feel a little bit more special. I do have a couple of examples here of basics I have in my own wardrobe which have some very interesting details. So the first piece I thought I'd mention is this little cardigan here from Boden. This is just a simple knit cardigan, but the thing that makes it really special is this ribbon which runs runs down the placket of the cardigan. I just think it makes it a little bit more unusual. It's still basic, it still isn't, you know, a big standout piece, but it just feels a little bit more special for that particular reason. The other item that I thought I'd just kind of here is this blouse that I've got from Nelly Lowton, and sorry if it's a little bit blown out, but basically what makes this particular blouse really special is this pin tuck detailing down the front. Again, it's just a simple white cotton shirt, something that's very easy and breezy, but this detail here is what really elevates it up a notch. The final tip that I wanted to mention is to consider texture. I think that texture is a really fun one to have in your basics. You can kind of see just even from the sweater that I'm wearing right now, it's got a really nice kind of textured design to it, which I think makes it feel a little bit different, doesn't feel completely basic. Another sort of texture that I really like, especially when it comes to knitwear, is a ribbed design. So I do have this other sweater here. So what I love about this is the fact that the knit has been woven in a ribbed pattern, and I love the way that that feels just running my hand along it, but I think it just adds a little bit of visual interest and an element of style to your outfit. So those are my tips for buying basics. I hope that you guys found this video useful and that you enjoyed it. If you've got any other things that you keep an eye out for when you are purchasing basics for your wardrobe, I would love to know them down in the comment section below. I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. See you then. Bye!